Good evening, everyone. Today I will be speaking about the monitoring and auditing of sterilization and aseptic practices. We carry out routine check for sterility and we have a checklist for the same, in which we have categorized it into what we check daily, weekly, once in 2 weeks, months, once in 3 months, and once in 6 months. At the beginning of the month, the last date of checking and the next due date is mentioned on the checklist so that it is not missed. Once it is checked, appropriate score is mentioned. The schedule of checking is also maintained in the pharmacy calendar by the CSST department. We begin with what we monitor as a daily basis. Every day at 6 a.m., the CSST sister ensures the sterilization is complete by the checking the change of color on the indicator strips and whether the appropriate temperature and pressure has been maintained with the autoclave. These are mentioned in the register. Only after verifying the above, these sterile bins are sent inside the OT for use. Before preparing for the OT, the sterilization indicators from all the bins, that is class 1 and class 5, and those from the ETO item class 4 are taken and pasted in the autoclave register. The batch number and expiry date of all the consumable that are being used that day are also mentioned. This is verified the senior assisting sister, the CSST sister, and the operating surgeon before scrubbing. Separate note for the batch number and the expiry date of all the consumable used in every single OT is also maintained by the CSST for easy tracking. Every day morning, the CSST sister checked whether the temperature within the range of 21 to 24 degrees Celsius and humidity within 40 to 60%. This is documented separate note. Along with monitoring the steam sterilization, the ETO sterilization is monitored by the noting the color change and the class 1 and class 4 indicator. Item packed is a single pack have a duration of 1 month of expiry and those is double pack have a duration of 6 month expiry. A sticker placed on the back of the pack with the date of first usage, the number of times it has been used, the last date it was used on, and the name of the sisters who has packed the item is mentioned. Povedic test is done daily in an empty load and uniform change of color to black in the pattern and the cord is ensured. The autoclave print paper of that cycle is also maintained. The 1 bottle of injected balance salt solution and glutosol is sent for culture whenever a new batch comes. Once the culture report comes negative, then only they are used. On a daily basis, in the evening, the bottles are checked for any particulate matters and they are given for use in the OT the next day. Only if it is completely clear. If the same batch comes after 3 months, it's sent for repeat culture. All soil linen, that is the ones that have been used for infected patient, is soaked in 1% sodium hypochlorite solution for 30 minutes and washed at the end of the day. A note for the same is mentioned in which the number of linen, the OT from which it is obtained, the name of the staff has washed it, and the CSST sister name who has verified it is mentioned. Now we move on to what we monitor on a weekly basis. Biological indicator test is done every Monday after the povedic test is done. The biological indicator is placed in a medifill pouch and sealed. The class 1 indicator is placed on the back of the pouch and it is placed on the top of the pin to be sterilized. Once the sterilization is complete, it is sent within 2 hours to the lab for culture. Note is mentioned is with the date, the name of the autoclave, batch number and expiry date of the biological indicators, the starting and finishing time of process, The class 1 indicator tape and the name of the sisters who sends it for culture, and the one more receiving the culture report is mentioned. The culture report is separately filed. The same process is done for biological indicators for ETO sterilization. The leak test for steam sterilization is carried out every Saturday, so that in case it fails, it can be rectified by the service engineer by Sunday, so it can be used for Monday onwards. Expiry date of all items sterilized using ETO is checked every Saturday. Those items nearing expiry within 2 days re-sterile. A note is maintained to document the number of items taken from each OT to be re-sterilized. The silicon tube of the Simcoe cannula is changed every Saturday and properly documented. This is accompanied by the instruments department, so that once it is returned only, then the new silicon tube will be given. Fogging of the OT using NODL is carried out every Sunday as and when any infected patient has been operated. NODL, which is a blend of hydrogen peroxide and silver nitrate, is used for fogging. The solution is prepared in ratio of 1:4, that is 100 ml of NODL and 400 ml of RO water, and it is put in the fogging machine and left in each OT for 20 minutes. Split AC filter cleaning is done every Saturday and recorded in the note. AHU AC filter cleaned once every 15 days. OT and AHU culture is done at the beginning of every month within the first 5 days, and reports are filed. Culture done for Avastin for every patches our Central Microbiology Lab at Madurai, and the culture report is filed. The fridge storing Avastin is always maintained between 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, and it is checked 3 times a day. The surgeon verifies the record before starting the injection OT. The 0.2 micron filter, which is used on the top for washing the instruments, is steam sterilized daily. A record showing the date of sterilization, the date on which it was filed, the due date for next sterilization, and the last water culture report is maintained. The 0.2 micron filter changed once every 3 months. In case there is a breakage of the filter in between, it is changed earlier. The RO plant operator checks every day evening of the tank is filled, and it is verified the CSST sister. Culture of the RO water is done in the 1st and 16th of every month in the respective hospitals. RO water and raw water sent for chemical analysis to Central Microbiology Lab at Madurai every month. Heat cleaning of the RO plant is done on the 4th Sunday of every month. And the 4th Sunday of every month, the 0.45 micron filter and all tap is cleaned during the heat cleaning of the RO plant. The overhead tank cleaning is done by every 3 months, and the note is maintained by the facility coordinator. Servicing of the autoclave is done once every 6 months. The next due date is noted and is ensured that it is complete before the 6-month duration is over. The same hold is good for ETO. Return air grill of the HEPA filter is cleaned once every week on Saturday. HEPA filter servicing is done once in 6 months, and copy of the calibration form is maintained electrical department and CSST, and a note is also maintained. Every day the CSST sister monitor whether the biomedical waste has been properly segregated in every OT, and a checklist for the same is maintained. At the end of the day, all the biomedical waste collected from all OTs segregate, weighed, and then disposed. A note is maintained weight of the waste collected. The working of the ultrasonic cleaner, which is used for instruments cleaning, is checked using a piece of aluminium foil. After placing the boil in a water filtered in ultrasonic cleaner is switched on and after 3 minutes the boils is checked. Dense is the boil signify the proper functioning of the ultrasonic cleaner and the boils and pasted in the OT record and OT wise. The tube of the ultrasonic cleaner is changed every 6 months and the next tube date is documented is the note. Once a month, linen stock is checked and yearly once the purchase order is placed and filed. Now, speaking about auditing. The CSST monitoring checklist as shown at the start at the presentation is maintained and the report is shared during the OT team meeting with all the other branches every 2 weeks. A team from any of the branches comes once for a year internal audit. A team from the district planners control program from all the districts which can be being held come for audit once in 3 months. A meeting is held daily regarding patient safety, any incidents that have occurred, any lapses in the sterilization process is discussed. A meeting once a week is held with the entire CSST team and the CSST in charge doctor to discuss any issue, any class and any classes for the retraining of the person is carried out. Thank you.